Hello everyone, this is Dr. Rajan Chandra Saha from Bangladesh. Welcome to my presentation on application of sustainable intermodal systems as an alternative to traditional road freight transport in linking dry ports to seaports in Bangladesh. This is Dr. Rajan Chandra Saha. I'm the postdoctoral researcher of Malaysia University of Science and Technology, and I'm also working in Saif Powertec as head of research and innovation. Saif Powertec is the largest container terminal operator of Bangladesh, and I am also doing my research on synchromodal freight transportation system, and it is a part of intermodal freight transportation system. As per my outline, I will start by introduction and it will go to see the problems that are screening by objective, and also I applied methodology, and this way I will go to the conclusions. So as introduction, I will say that shipping is an international activity that is not limited to the seaport areas, while maritime logistics activity now reaches the last mile of a shipping company, including the shipper consignee, irrespective of port areas and national boundary. So sea routes facilitate about 90% of the nation's international trade for Bangladesh. So that here shipping is very important elements for doing international trade. In recent years, the principal seaport of Bangladesh, Chattogram port, has been handling 3 million TEUs regularly and placed the 100th club by Lloyd's list. So here there is a good and prestigious issue for Bangladesh, that's regularly they are passing and handling more than 3 million TEUs. So but here the transportation, that means inland transportation system, is not up to the mark to complete the intermodal system. Among the containers of this, some 70% are destined or originate in the capital city Dhaka and its adjacent areas. All of we know that intermodal freight transport plays a pivotal role in addressing the challenges posed by global warming. So there are some pillars. We will discuss what are the pillars, especially cost, time, damage of cargo, and also not but least you can't overlook this one, that is the environment issues. So the application of sustainable intermodal system will mitigate the risk of environmental pollution, protect the freight, and save time and cost significantly. uh, the problems in Bangladesh regarding this research is telling that there is no connection of road intermodal, as road connected dry ports other than Chattogram are not available, also dry system that is fully absent in Bangladesh. So due to the excessive traffic congestion and nighttime movements allowed in Dhaka Rail ICD, it faces considerable delays in reaching the last mile. So the pure intermodal is facing a big challenges to giving the service to the shipper or consignee up to their last mile. On the other hand, only the terminal is Pangao Inland Container Terminal that remains underutilized due to various operation challenges and discussed due to backward logistics and location problems. So yet not road intermodal introduced in Bangladesh, where conventional trucks and cover vans are carrying maximum imports and exports in the Dhaka-Chattogram main freight corridor. So this research has a special objective to apply sustainable intermodal system to link dry ports and seaports in Bangladesh. I have two research questions. First one is why are alternative modes of rail and inland waterways popular, and why is the government not promoting them to apply sustainable intermodal system? How can traditional trucks and covered vans be avoided in inland freight transport, and modern trucks and efficient terminals to be introduced in Bangladesh? That is another research question of this research. So I applied qualitative research methods to explore the possible obstacles in allowing dry ports in Dhaka or major cities of Bangladesh, and how to introduce road intermodal system. In the qualitative method, I used two tools. My first tool is the KII. Here I took the KI interviews from the rail, road, waterways, and two seaports. You just look the Chittagong port and the Mongla port, and these are all are in Bangladesh, because Bangladesh is a proudly a maritime nation. So here we are especially lucrative positions of Bangladesh that's featuring a good intermodal connectivity, freight transport connectivity, and maritime logistics services, including all kinds of models like rail, road, waterways. Even we have a pipeline also. So I took the KI with the main government authorities, especially the rail authorities. Bangladesh Railway, they are responsible for performing the rail intermodal system from the Chattogram port to Dhaka, and also RHD is managing the road intermodal system. And inland waterways, we have in one container terminal that is performing by Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Authority, but now it is managing by the Chattogram Port Authority. So in addition, I took the qualitative research survey in 4 groups. The total sample size was 20 nodes, 4 from each group. And the first one is the port users, and then association, various association, Chamber of Commerce, dry port users association, fisheries association, lots of association. Among them I selected 4 for as association, and some service providers like Bangladesh Shipping Agents Association, and then Bangladesh Inland Container Depot Association, and also government organizations like the Customs Authority. Total sample size was not so big because the time is very limited to get the interview and the schedule. So the duration of the research was I started in January 2024 and completed in July, end of the July 2024. So I just a short brief about the literature review. Here actually the some research they are good for sustainable features of transport. That means not only passing the cargo or transferring the cargo from one place to another, but we need to look after the sustainable features because modern world is becoming more cautious about the decarbonization and others ways. So that it's a big thing for us to think about the modern world and also sustainable features of the transport. Here intermodal systems definitely is showing the promising part of freight transport. So another researcher, they identified that incorporation of consolidation strategies within the intermodal transport networks that introduce specific challenges that can be enhanced vulnerability to disruption. So to avoid any disruption in the freight transportation system, we may utilize the new strategy of intermodal freight transportation system. Another group of researchers that leading by Brownie, they found that rail intermodal is often treated as a disappointed and a complicated system, encompassing a wide variety of relationship between actors, activities, and technical resources. As we just seen the example of Sweden, they are trying to remove their intermodal system from rail to avoid the multiple handling of containers. Like this way, there is also rail is showing the environmentally positive, but multiple handling, time factor, and other factors are not showing good things for this. Even the primary hubs that defined by the Wang et al. That's a rail water intermodal is highly promising in the coming weeks. So intermodal transport is constantly trying to compete with road transport, and one way to do optimized transport processes that is defined by Jakara and Ranjit in 2023. Overall, the literature review is showing the gaps how to develop our local intermodal system and link between seaports and dry ports. So the research gap is to bring the standard systems of global to Bangladesh. So it will help us to develop our inland intermodal freight transport connectivity. In data analysis, we just look after, already I told there are 3 seaports. If you look to the map, the Mongla, Paira, Chattogram. Here we just consider Chattogram port as a as our case port to share with inland transport and intermodal system. Other ports are not so vibrant and adding container throughputs regularly. Mongla is just 50 kilo annually, and Paira is a completely new thing. So in 2023, Chittagong port handled 3.05 million TEUs. It is forecasted that it will reach more than 6.76 million TEUs by 2050. It's a forecasting for Chattogram Port Authority. So that all dry ports in Chattogram, you know that there are only dry ports that are available in especially in Chattogram. This is the actually port gate dry port as per definition by UNCTAD and also Rozo et al. We found that the nearby or adjacent of port dry ports are calling the port gate dry port. In Chittagong there are lots of dry ports over here, but they are handling the all exports, but imports only 38 items. So they have the low performance in import 41.12%, and they are exporting 71.30%. So here Dhaka Rail ICD and one terminal, these are handling 3.06% and 0.98% respectively. In addition to regular transport policies, dry port operation policy is developed by firstly Chattogram Port Authority, but the national integrated multimodal transport policy also created by the Road and Highways Department, but not in a fruitful matters here. Here in data analysis we can see that the shipping they have the preference for doing international trade. That means also are interested to go to the Chattogram from all over the country. And considering the factors, we will see that here the main factors are cost is the main pillar, but time is also a factor for doing international shipping and inland transport in Bangladesh. But must remember that shipper consignee also now showing the interest in cargo protection. That means to avoid the damage of cargo in the inland passes and saving the environment, of course a new factor to avoid any kind of pollution, air, water or any other pollution, or producing less carbon dioxide in Bangladesh. Here is the traditional transport versus intermodal. You know, there is a traditional road transport is covering 64% by the total. The great portion is here. They are very fond of to use traditional road transport. That means unhealthy or conventional trucks and covered vans. And there is a road intermodal is not allowed in Bangladesh, and it's not a choice, but due to some special permissions occurred in Chattogram port, and they are taking the full container to their last mile or their premises. And the current dry port facility assessment in Bangladesh is saying that most of the respondents are not satisfied with the current dry port facilities in Bangladesh. However, a satisfaction area came on the performance of dry ports in Chattogram. They are very happy, but they are not happy with the Dhaka Rail ICD and inland container terminal in nearby Dhaka. That is, the place name is Pangaon. So they are very used to and their mind user to do shipping business with the port city Chattogram. This is a big factor. And others quality research surveys are telling that especially I took the suggestions and recommendations, and other 5 questions are not included here. So they want to implement the national intermodal integrated multimodal transport policy as early as possible to establish the dry ports and other things. And they are also trying to give some sense to improve the infrastructures, how to foster the public-private partnership. That is important to do a big, especially capital infrastructure in port and logistics sector, so that it is very important. And they also requested to engage port authorities in regular monitoring of dry port operations and intermodal system to ensure efficiency and compliances. So this is the research findings and analysis. So actually Bangladesh relies exclusively on diesel powered trucks and covered vans. If you look to the picture, then you will see that this is the conventional trucks, and is a high powered diesel is using here. And this is the covered van. This is formatted. This is just 6 wheels are there, and it is taking 20 or 25 metric tons, and it is actually destroying the roads. So to avoid this one, the research findings is telling that why you are not taking your container from port to the last mile or nearby dry ports. So this is the main things. And as the forecasting is very high, so that we need to take some care. And if you look, the data is telling that we just importing very less, we will get a good diagram in coming slides. Here, this is another findings that Dhaka Rail ICD, it is just the capacity is 87,000, but last year it handled more than 1 lakh TEUs. So that here they have a company, container company of Bangladesh. They are trying to set a new ICD in Dirasram and also Gurashal, but yet not any final decision from their end for constructing a new ICD in nearby Dhaka. And this is just opposite of the coin is that another ICT, that is the 1,16,000 TEUs capacity, but it is just handled 29,000 in the last year, so it is underutilized. So that inland freight nodes are not developing due to policy problem and the harassment of cargo security in the inland bases. Here I am just going to the research impact. What are the impacts? Just I told earlier that I will show that the Chattogram port, they are handling 3 million TEUs, and the Dhaka and other area is taking the full 70%. That means rail, water, and road. So rail is 3%, water is less than 1%, and the rest, that means 2 million TEUs containers are handling by trucks and cover vans. So it's a very dangerous. As we know, the standard intermodal for 30 or 40%, but in our country it is less than 5%. So this research will help the to some policy makers to develop a port strategy and inland freight transport connectivity, and also apply the intermodal system for developing the total freight transportation system for doing international trade. The practical contribution involved the testing of the road intermodal for international shipping and setting up dry ports in all parts of the country, especially Dhaka and major cities of Bangladesh. This research also have practical implication that Bangladesh will be decrease the amount of traditional road freight movement by unhealthy trucks and covered vans. In the way forward, there are lots of suggestions, but one suggestion is to just to need to make a common policy for dry port establishment and allow road intermodal. This is the recommendations to be done by National Board and Revenue and other authorities, especially port authorities, and it will allow to get a good intermodal systems, and applying this system, it will reduce the cost, time, damage of cargo, and also save the environment. In conclusions, I will just quoting one that some researchers are telling that we need to explore the intermodal transport that is really relevant to the sustainability of freight transportation system because of its promising features from an economic and also environmental point of view. So the share of pure intermodal is less than 5% in Bangladesh, so it is essential to increase the contribution of rail and inland waterways mode by improving inland freight transport connectivity through public-private partner participation, that means PPP. And the last but not least, my closing remarks is to that to improve the proportion of intermodal transportation in overall freight transportation in Bangladesh, we need to improve the link between seaports and dry ports, like the hub and spoke. Here hub is the port and spokes are the dry ports. So that need to design and to be suggested as one potential option to avoid traditional road transport system in Bangladesh. This is the research questionnaire, the survey, and also apply for KII. If you have any questions, suggestion, feedback, so please my email, and if you have a time constant, please send me. I will try to respond in. Again, I am just making thanks to my mentor, Dr. Khairi Khalil, Malaysia University of Science and Technology, and I'm really grateful to my employer, especially to my Managing Director Tarafder Md, for funding this research and allowing me to present, and not least the conference organization authority for giving me the opportunity and allowing to present from Bangladesh online. Thank you very much. Thanks to again.